Now, if you have a different database that contains all your contacts and you want to import them over into your Outlook contacts folder, well, you can either type them all in, which I don't recommend, or better yet, you can import them into the contacts folder. For example, I'm going to go ahead and minimize my Outlook down to the taskbar. I'm going to open up my exercise folder because in there I have my contacts workbook. It's an Excel workbook. Double click to open it up and I'll show you. I have 3 contacts here. Now, if you watch my Excel Level 1 training video, we talk about how to label your columns here. The first row is known as the header row, meaning it's the heading for all the data below. See that? Last names, all the companies, the titles, and streets. In other words, it doesn't see this when I import it as an actual personal contact. It just ignores this as far as that goes and just says that anything that falls below it is going to be labeled as first, last, company, and so on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close out of here, back down to my taskbar to click and restore my Outlook program, and then to import, come up here and click on the File menu, go down to Import and Export, and then it says choose an action. We want to import. The default is fine. To get more information, you can look down below in the description. It says, look, you can import data from other programs such as ACT, Lotus Organizer, PST files, and so on. Go ahead and click Next. What's the type of program we're trying to import from? It's going to be Excel. Now, it doesn't have here, and I'm scrolling down, Excel 2007. Just has the previous version from 97 to 2003, which is fine because that's where my contacts were stored. Click Next. Then it says, where's that file? Well, I'm going to browse for it, find it, double click on it, and then I can continue. Oh, by the way, you've got some options. If you import these contacts and you have duplicates already in your contacts folder, do you want to replace them, allow duplicates to be created, or just simply don't import those duplicates? In any case, I'm going to go ahead and click Next and go with the default there. Then which folder do you want to dump your contacts into? Well, these are personal contacts, so I'm going to dump them in my personal contact folder and click Next. Now, you could go ahead and click Finish, but you probably got less than a 50% chance of actually importing all the information. Why? Because in my Excel workbook, I said that my first names, the field was first. I said for my phone number, it was just phone. Now, in Microsoft's contacts, you either have business phone or personal phone. It doesn't have a field that just says phone. So what I want to do is I want to do what's called mapping. Let me click on the Map Custom Fields and I'll show you. Over to the left, you'll see what it says here is that this is where it's coming from. It's my Excel workbook called Contacts, and this is where I want to import it to. So these are the fields that it sees in my workbook, and over here, these are the fields that it has in Outlook. Now, some of them, like for example, company matches company here, doesn't it? So it says I can go ahead and map and pull the data over from your company here and put it over into Outlook. How do I know that? Because it says right here that it's completely mapped. In other words, if I don't see anything in this column here, it means that it doesn't recognize the fields in Outlook with the fields that I have in Excel. For example, I've got first and last. Well, what does that mean to Outlook? Let me expand that, the names. Instead of just first and last, it has first name and last name. Now, if I didn't have that exactly typed and spelled like it has here in Outlook, it's not going to automatically recognize it and put it here. See how title here I have over in my Excel workbook is matching the title here in Outlook? So it went ahead and said this is going to be mapped as title. It'll import the title, the company, and anything else. Looks like nothing else. It didn't recognize it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, look, I want to import my first names by clicking and dragging and putting it on the first name field. So first names in Excel is going to be called the first name in Outlook, and so it's mapped. So in other words, if I just do it right now and click OK and finish, it's only going to pull over the title, the person title, like if they're VP or CEO, their first name, and the company. Everything else, forget it, it's not pulling over. So we need to continue mapping everything, like their last name. Select last name. We're going to click and drag it over last name to map it to last name. So it dumps it into last name field in Outlook. Got a lot of work for us. Let's see, title to title has already been mapped because it's in the mapped field. Okay. What about the street? Well, you have two different types of fields here. You have the business, and then you have the home address, and then you have other address. It just can't be street. It's got to be one of these, business, home, or other street. So let me go ahead and say this is supposed to be the business street by clicking and dragging it over business street. Now it's mapped. I mean, you're getting the idea, I hope, here. So city to city, state to state, and then I call it zip. They call it postal code, so zip to postal code. And then let's see, this is the business fax. Scroll down. There it is. See, I don't have it exactly spelled like they do, so I have to go ahead and say click and drag fax to business fax. Let's see, scroll down. I have email and web page left. So let me scroll all the way down to the bottom. Well, there's the web page. Click web to web page. Where's the email? There it is. So we have email, email 2, email 3. Let me expand email. And I want the email here to go into the email address field. Now, if I like this, I can go ahead and click OK. If I made some mistakes, then I can click clear the map, and it clears everything that I just mapped in this column here. Then I have to start over, clicking and dragging to match up the fields. But I like what I see. I'll click OK and click finish and give it a second or two. Didn't take long because I didn't have that many contacts. It went to the personal contact folder, and there we go. We had 3 contacts. We had Jason, Grant, and Henry. Double click on one of them. It actually mapped their names to the name field. Now this one's a little bit off because the owner should be down in the title, so maybe I didn't map it right, but you can see the problems you can run into. If I didn't map it right, it may not come over, or if it does come over, it may dump it into the wrong field here, in which case I'll, if I had hundreds of thousands that came in, I'd have to delete them all and start over again. Or better yet, when you import them, instead of deleting them all, just re-import them, make sure that they're mapped correctly, and just say overwrite duplicates or replace those duplicates. Okay, there's their company. We got that right. We got the email address right, their web page right, and we put the address in the correct field, which is the business address field. Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel, get notified of the latest videos, and for only $2 a month, you can have access to all my Microsoft Office training videos.